Good morning, Chair. The recording has commenced.
Good morning. This meeting of the Agricultural Labor Relations Board is called to order. First, I will call the roll. Board Member Broad?
Present.
Board Member Flores?
Present.
Board Member Hall?
Present.
Board Member Lightstone? Okay. Also present in today's meeting from our staff is our ALRB Executive Secretary, Mr. Santiago Villa-Gomez, who is assisting in providing technical support, as well as our analyst, Devika Ganawardena. We'll start today with the open session portion of the meeting, and then prior to going into closed session, there will be an opportunity for public comment. Members of the public who have contacted the board, either by email or phone, and asked to be placed in the public comment queue, will be called on in order received. If you did not previously make contact with the board and you wish to make a public comment, you still may do so during that time by either putting a note in the chat or using the raise hand feature in the Zoom application, or you can email Devika or Santiago to be placed in the queue. Please note, we ask that you use the chat feature only to indicate that you wish to make a comment. Substantive comments in the chat will not be made part of the public record. We ask that you also provide your name and organization if applicable. This information will become part of the official record of today's proceedings. If you wish to speak more than once, please alert staff and have your name placed back in the queue. If you're having technical difficulties when you are called up, please reach out to us via the Zoom chat function or email, and we will come back to you. We do have limited capabilities for managing public participation during the comment period, so we're asking everyone who is not speaking to place their phones or Zoom on mute and wait to unmute until you are called to speak. These instructions are also available on our agenda, which is posted online at alrb.ca.gov. Okay, moving on to the first agenda item, which is to approve our public meeting minutes from the most recent meeting on October 12th. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Barry. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Member Flores. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. Can I also have a motion to approve our regional director meeting minutes from October 12th? May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, and I will count Member Hall as the second there. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Aye.
thank you.
Aye.
So our regional director and public meeting minutes from October 12th are now approved. Next, we have is the chair's report. I just have a brief item today. I do want to recognize that yesterday, on October 25th, Governor Gavin Newsom recognized Larry Itliong Day, a recognition of an important Filipino-American civil rights and labor leader who made great contributions to our state's history and the American labor rights movement, especially here with helping facilitate and support some of the labor actions which eventually led to the establishment and creation of the Agricultural Labor Relations Act, as well as the board. Larry Itliong worked on several labor campaigns, but notably in relation to our work on the national grape boycott in the 1960s, which eventually led to the first union contracts in the agricultural industry, and eventually paved the way for broader labor rights for California farm workers. So I want to take a moment to recognize his contributions to our state's history and acknowledge our diverse history that led to these expanded protections, which we're still fighting for and recognizing today. All right, our next agenda item is the Executive Officer's Report with Santiago Villa-Gomez on unfair labor practice complaints and elections. Santiago.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, Chair and members of the board. I'm sorry, I'm navigating a few screens here. There's not a lot to report today. Since our last public board meeting, there's been a complaint settlement and a withdrawal. The complaint settlement is in B&H Flowers, Inc. That case number is 2020 CE052 et al. And that was filed on October 24th, indicating that the parties of the General Counsel entered into an informal bilateral settlement agreement. Next is the withdrawal of the complaint in Coast King Packing, LLC. That's 2020 CE016 SAL. And the motion to withdraw the complaint was filed on October 24th. That settlement was reported back in February. Since our last meeting, the board has not issued a decision, but it has issued an administrative order in Sonoma Cho LLC doing business as Floraterra, and the citation is ALRB Admin Order 2022-07, and that was issued on October 19th, and it approved the general counsel's request, regional director's request to approve a formal bilateral settlement agreement. Finally, in the pending matters is St. Supri Inc., doing business as St. Supri Vineyards and Winery, and relates back to the board's admin order citation, ALRB Admin Order 2022-06P, P for presidential, and it had to do with the general counsel's request for subpoena enforcement, case number 2022-CE015-SAL. Since that administrative order issued, the general counsel have gone into Superior Court in Napa County and filed a petition to enforce administrative subpoenas. That concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much, Santiago. I do not have any questions. Do any of my colleagues? Okay. Going on to our next agenda item, which is the litigation report with Todd Ratchin, and I'm not, Todd, are you on? Okay. We will come back to him. I know he was juggling a few things this morning. Our next agenda item is the General Counsel's report with General Counsel Julie Montgomery. Julie.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see everyone's faces. So just a couple of short items today. As Santiago mentioned, the staff in the Salinas region obtained a settlement in B&H Flowers, and this charge and complaint involved 3 cannabis workers in Santa Barbara County who alleged that B&H Flowers had retaliated and discriminated against workers by changing their working conditions and scrutinizing their work more closely because they spoke up about supervisor mistreatment and poor drinking water quality. Additionally, the charge alleged that B&H's human resources representative told the charging party that she could not speak up about the supervisor's bad behavior toward workers, that she was prohibited from doing so. The ALRB investigated the charges and filed a complaint against B&H on August 30th. And just, I think last week, the ALRB, B&H Flowers, and 3 charging parties finalized a post-complaint informal bilateral settlement agreement agreeing that ALRB agents will distribute and read a notice to all agricultural employees at the cannabis facility where the charging parties worked, post the notice for 90 days, and mail the notice to all agricultural workers employed by B&H during the relevant time period, and that B&H has agreed to rescind 3 corrective actions issued against 2 of the workers. There was no monetary damages in the settlement as the workers are currently employed, so they didn't lose wages, but this affirmative relief in ALRB going to the work site and reading the notice to the staff and or to the employees is, I think, a very powerful remedy. So kudos to our Salinas region for that good work. Additionally, we've had some outreach presentations. I'll just give you a few highlights. Our staff provided information at a food distribution on 3 separate dates this month, hosted by the community-based organization Poder Popular in Santa Paula, which is in rural Ventura County. On October 19th, our staff provided in-person assistance to walk-ins at offices of the community-based organization MyCop in Santa Maria, which is in Santa Barbara County. On October 13th, our staff attended the Northern California and Sierras Region 7 Partners Collective Impact Table meeting, and that was a virtual meeting. On October 22nd, staff tabled and provided information at the Día de Reconocimiento del Trabajador Agrícola, which in English is Day of Recognition for Agricultural Workers. And that was an event that the Sacramento Mexican Consulate hosted in Lodi. And then finally, on the 25th of this month, staff attended and tabled at the El Mercado Farmers Market hosted by the Community Health Trust of the Pajaro Valley at Watsonville in Santa Cruz County. And that concludes my report for this week. Any
Thank
questions?
you, General Counsel. On the Day of Recognition, was that at one of the migrant centers? The event in Lodi, do you know? One of the state's migrant housing centers.
Does anybody on this call know? I think it was. I believe so, but I'm not 100% certain. I don't know if, I think I saw Javier on here. I didn't know if he attended that event. Maybe not. I think Flavio from our office, or here's Daniela, she'll know.
I can answer. Yes, it was. It was at a migrant center.
Great. I saw some stuff online about that, and I'm really glad to hear that we were participating in that event. The board had the opportunity when we visited Salinas in August to visit some of the state's migrant housing facilities there, and I think that's such a great opportunity to provide resources. And so I'd love maybe in a subsequent meeting or offline to kind of learn more about if we're going to be able to connect with other migrant centers or how the consulate arranged that, because I think that was something that when we, at least I, and I think some of the other board members after touring really was like, oh, this is a really great opportunity for a population or a group of people that we may not otherwise have a chance to talk to. So I'm really, really glad to hear about our participation there. Okay, all right, thank you. So we're gonna move back to agenda item number 4, just to double check with our Chief Board Counsel, Todd Ratchin. Do we have a litigation report today, Todd?
Okay, hi, good morning. I just jumped in. So no, there is no litigation update since the last public meeting.
Okay, all right, thank you. Please note, we do not have reports today for agenda items 7, 8, or 9. So we will now go to the public comment. Again, just to briefly summarize the public comment instructions at the top of the meeting. If you have previously indicated you wish to make public comment, our staff will go through the queue and call on you first. If you have not, have no fear, you may comment at this point in time. We welcome any and all public comment. Please either raise your hand using the raise hand feature in Zoom or enter a note in the chat that you would like to make comment. Please include your name and affiliation if applicable. We ask that you not make substantive comments in the chat, just use it to indicate that you wish to make a comment. And we ask that everyone that is not speaking, please stay on mute. If you're having issues, please either email the staff emails located on our agenda or indicate so in the chat, and we'll make every effort to come back to you. So I'll turn to Santiago. Do we have anyone in the public comment queue?
Not at this time. I invite folks in the lobby to follow the chair's directions if you wish to make a public comment at this time. We'll stand by here for a few seconds to see if anyone wishes to do so. Does not appear that there's public comment at this time.
Okay, thank you. We will now gavel into closed session, and upon the end of closed session, come back for announcements and then adjournment. Thank you. Good morning. It is now 11:19 a.m. and the board has returned from closed session. Want to note our announcements. So our next meeting will be in 2 weeks. Let me double check the date. On Wednesday, November 9th at 10 a.m. here in Sacramento, as well as with ability to join virtually. And with that, this now concludes our today's meeting, and we are now adjourned. Thank you, everyone.